What's up, Believe Nation? Welcome to another Hangout. Super excited to be here. Happy Thursday, everybody. I have a return guest. This is maybe the third time we've had her on. I don't know. We've had some fun. Cloris Kylie has a new podcast you guys should check out called Beyond Influencer Marketing. And we're going to be recording an episode today. And I thought, hey, let's make it a video for you guys to enjoy as well. Cloris, welcome back.
Well, thank you, and welcome back to my show too. I feel like I've become such an advocate of your message because you've made a difference in the lives of my clients too. I've first I was sharing with them your one word, and now top 10 rules for success. So it's like it keeps building.
I love it. Well, this is your show, so however you normally want to introduce it and take it away. It's all you.
Definitely, thank you, Evan. Well, the first thing I'd like to share with my audience is how your business has been so closely tied to the top 10 rules for success, first on video and now the book form. So if you could talk about that, that'd be great.
Sure. So I started the top 10 rules of success as a video. It was one single video. And I thought, okay, we could probably do one a week. Like it did well. People liked it. Let's do one a week. And that's 52 people a year. Okay, this should be enough to be able to do 52 a year. And then it became really successful and people wanted more. So we did it twice a week. I thought, okay, 100 a year. That's got to be, like, can we do more than 100 people a year? It's a lot of people to profile. Yeah. And then we started taking requests and we had 3,000 requests for new people to do. I thought, wow, if we did, now there's some overlap, but still, if we did a video a day, we have years before we'll run out. And so we went to doing it almost every day. So every weekday we have a video coming out. And the thought behind it was I wanted selfishly for myself to be around more successful people. Bill Gates saved my business. My very first company when I was 19, even though I've never met him, just by reading his story and applying his strategy, it saved my company. And so ever since then, whenever I needed to solve a problem that I didn't know how to, I looked at who has solved this problem and how can I apply it to my situation. The name of my YouTube channel initially, and still is Modeling the Masters. So if you type in YouTube/Modeling the Masters, you'll see my channel. Now YouTube also made it off my name, Evan Carmichael. But I'm just a big believer in that it really does, your environment, the people around you really have an impact on how far you go in terms of pushing you to do the best you can do, learning new skills, getting motivated, changing your mindset. And so, I challenge the people listening to your podcast, how many people do you have in your life who are really pushing you, who are encouraging you, supporting you, helping you be better? And for most people, it's not a lot. For most people, it's zero. And so what I want to do is have Steve Jobs push you, and I want to have Oprah Winfrey push you, and a little bit of me push you in there too. But all of these people who've accomplished massive things to push you to do more, because I think most people think they have more in them and they don't know how to go off and do that. And so it started with the videos, and now there's the book. And I basically took the 40 most popular videos and condensed it down into book format. And the concept is on every page, there's 2 rules. So you flip open one page and there's 2 rules from Steve Jobs. And that's all I want people to read. Read one page a day. Don't read it like a typical book. Read one page a day, because if you're starting your day reading the page, first of all, you don't have an excuse. Like it doesn't take very long to read one single page. It's pretty easy. And second, if you did that every day, you are injecting into your mind some of the most brilliant things that some of the most brilliant people have ever said. And to do that on a daily basis, it starts to transform you. And so that was something I was doing for myself, and I wanted to share that with the world.
Oh, I love that. And one of the things you do, like you read a page every day, that's a habit that allows you to be successful. So if you adopt these habits, and if you follow Evan on Twitter, he's at Evan Carmichael, you'll see that he posts a little video every night. Hey, have a good night. Good morning. This is what I'm going to do to have a fantastic day. And, that habit has helped you create such a close connection with your followers, with your audience, people you're inspiring. So that's just an example. So this is the same thing. I love that. Just read a book, and you have, how you can apply these rules to your business. So you also have that thinking part, as you said. And then once you kind of have that that aha moment, then of course you can go ahead and run with it, and you feel empowered to do it. Um, so now, if you had to think about all the people that you have profiled, and I know there are many, many of them, is there something that you would say kind of like unites them, something that is kind of common among everybody?
So what I was really excited by is I picked the 40 based off of the most popular videos on the channel. And what was awesome was it was such a wide selection of people. I didn't say I want to have X number of entrepreneurs and Y number of black men and Z number of women and spiritual leaders, and like there was no forced diversity, and yet we came up with such an amazingly diverse group,
Mm.
which I was so happy with. um it's not just a bunch of rich white men entrepreneurs saying the same thing. So like I love that the Dalai Lama's in the book and Steve
Yeah,
Jobs in the book,
yeah,
right? And some people that, like Sadhguru and Priyanka Chopra, like people that I, before we made videos on them, I had no idea who they were, and they
yeah.
made it into the book. And so I love that. um and so that process really helped. And so when you're able to pull from somebody like a spiritual leader like the Dalai Lama and then Steve Jobs and those entrepreneurial types, and see that they're often even saying the same thing, just in different words and different ways, different tools, different ways to point at the same thing,
Mm.
that's when it really struck home, like these things really matter. And maybe you hear it better coming from Steve Jobs, or maybe you hate Steve Jobs and you hear it better coming from Oprah, or you hear it better coming from somebody else. I don't care, as long as the message is kind of getting through to help people move on. And so the book, most of the book is the 400 rules. So it's 40 people times 10 rules, 400 rules. And there's overlap on the rules. But again, because somebody says it one way, somebody says another way, it's still a great lesson. But the book starts with the 10 most popular lessons. So when you open up the book, you'll see what the 10 most common rules are. And that's probably the most common question I get asked is like, okay, you've studied all the success. What are the things that come up over and over and over again? So now there's the book to show you. You can read it and look at it. But that's what I did. I started the book with the 10 most common rules that are repeated through all sorts of race, gender, industries, time, and they're the lessons that kind of stand the test through everything. And so that's why I think it's really important.
Yeah, yeah, I love that part. That you really see like kind of like a framework for what's to come. And I was thinking about, one of the people I was happy to see in the book is Dr. Wayne Dyer, because he was my first mentor, who really encouraged me to share my message in a grander way. And he used to say, I only hang out with people I want to be like. If not, I'm moving away. And then I see Bill Gates, who says, pick good people. And he was not only talking about his employees, but about partners, people he basically relates to or talks to on a daily basis. So, what did you notice, Evan, and even in your life and your business, that that is essential about relationships in order to be successful?
So one of the key points, rule number 8, is build a team, which is like you can't do this alone. And that doesn't, again, only mean having a team of employees working for you, but or influencing, right? Like you want to work with influencers, they can help spread your message. You want to have a partner in life who can help you. And Bill Gates's message was around his wife can call him out on things and tell him when he's making a mistake. And he wants those people in his life too that aren't just saying yes, you're doing a great job, but like, hey, you know what, you could have done better here. And so I think it's really important to surround yourself with the people who can help take you further. I think it's important to have people around you who have shared values. This kind of a throwback to my first book, Your One Word. Like, what do you stand for? What are your core values? But then have people with different skill sets. So I can bring this, you could bring this. Whether we end up working together for just one short mini project, or whether it becomes a partnership that lasts for for the rest of our lives. I think that's really important, just to understand that whatever big mission you're on, you can't do it alone. You can do a lot by yourself, but you can't do it alone. And there's people who want to buy into your mission and want to buy into your message and want to genuinely help, that you're not allowing them to. because you want to do it all on your own. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel that way, like I'm just going to do it all myself. Well, like you can't. You can go really fast quickly, but you can go further when you have a solid team. And again, expanding the definition of team to not just be employees, but influencers, partners, suppliers, personal relationships, all really, really matters.
Yeah, but I love that mindset of seeing your business relationships as part of your team, because that's something I think that is missing. Like, people want to connect with those who have achieved, more success, or who or have reached the place where you want to be. And then you see that as, okay, yeah, I'm kind of like getting help here. I'm getting lucky by having the support of this person. It'll be a one-time type of interaction, and then it's over. But the reality is that if you can make those connections in such a way that they become your supporters, your allies, then everything changes. They're part of your team. They're there to support you because they believe in you. And if they don't believe in you, then maybe they don't need to be part of your team. Um, so now your one word is believe, right? So tell us about that, and how all the successful people, the 40 people in the book, or even the videos, I guess apply that belief in themselves and in those they serve.
Yeah, so Your One Word is my first book. The idea is everybody has a single core value that when you understand what you stand for, then you can build a life and a business that are around it. And if you don't know what you stand for, you don't know what your core value is, then you're just going to be living up to other people's expectations because you don't know what's right from wrong. Instead of you having the courage and confidence and boldness to chase the thing that you want. Uh, Rule number 2 in the book of the top 10 rules of success is have self-awareness. And one of the things that all of these people do is they have self-awareness, whether it's through one word or another metric. Like they know who they are, they know what they want, they know what they stand for, and then they aggressively go after that. And if you're telling them that they can't do it, they're not going to listen because they're so grounded in what they believe they can and can't do. And I think that's really important. I think if you don't have self-awareness, then it's really hard to go far. Uh, Part of being an entrepreneur or part of being a leader is you have to create something that hasn't been created. People are looking to you for the guidance. If you're just following somebody else, then okay, you're following somebody else. If you're happy with that, then fine. That's what you're doing, but you can't complain about the decisions because you agreed to follow that person. Where if
Mhm.
you're off being a leader yourself and people are looking to you, it has to be grounded in something. And that's where the self-awareness piece really comes together. And so all these successful people from, again, all walks of life, the people who've achieved the most in their respective fields have an incredibly high level of self-awareness. They know what they want to do, they know what they're good at, they know their strengths and weaknesses, they know their core values, and they don't stray from those things. They go
Mhm.
harder on those things, and that's what leads to their success.
Yeah, that's right. I completely agree. And that I was thinking also, you've featured so many amazing people. Have you actually had a chance to connect with one of them, or more in person, or just have them on your show? And what was that experience like?
So yes, a bunch of the people we can never do because they passed away and there's no contact. Like I would have loved to have Wayne Dyer on the show, and it's uh, it's too bad he's not as well known. Like Wayne Dyer is a blast from the past, and it's too bad because the message is so powerful. And I see, when I did a top 10 on him, I see it as my duty almost to kind of help spread the
Mhm.
message. And it was way harder making his video than somebody who's a Gary Vaynerchuk who's making
Right.
content every single day. Um, I got lost in Wayne Dyer mode there just because you said that, and I felt good. I don't really have there's nobody that I really want to meet. I'm a
Mhm.
weird bird like that. Like there's nobody that I really wish I could ask a question to. Maybe because I feel I know their stories so well and it already inspires me. There's nobody that I really can't wait to meet and have a conversation with. Some of the people we have done, some of them I've met in person, some of them we've done hangouts. We have a video going live soon on the channel. I guess by the time this goes up, it's already live on Grant Cardone. I've met him in New York. He made a quick intro for the video. He's like, "Hey, friends of Evan, thank you so much for having me back on the channel." That's always great to form, the
Right.
connections. We've had Brian Tracy and Bishop TD Jakes and Chris Gillibo and Ryan Holiday and a bunch of people, Gary Vaynerchuk, on the channel that we've done top tens on, and it's always great, and I love it. And I always reach out to everybody to say, "Hey, would you like to be on the show? Do you want to do a shout out for your video? We're featuring you." And I'll tweet everybody. I tweeted Barack Obama. I tweeted, everybody who we've done. Um, and Obama followed me back on Twitter, which was cool.
That's amazing.
Uh, but I guess it feels great. But I'm honest. I'm happy talking to you, right? Like
Right.
I love this too. It's not like, oh, I wish I'm
Yeah.
talking to Obama. I don't know what questions I would ask him. It's just I don't have a I wish I could talk to this person and get something from them. Um, and at the same time, I'm extremely grateful for all the wisdom that they shared and my ability to kind of dissect it and then create it for my community.
Yeah, it's true. And isn't that like the foundation of relationships, though, that you learn to see the greatness in everyone, whether they have a large influence or not, and then kind of learn from them? I think anybody has something to offer that is super important and essential. And just by interacting with people, you can gain, some sort of wisdom. Now, you feature people that are, have very different philosophies too. Even in the book, there are people who probably part of your audience loves them, and another section of it, really cannot stand them. So, how do you deal with like people's feedback? Because I'm sure once you post a video, there are some people who have, really nasty things to say about that person. Some people who are, so you start to get into that conflict. How do you manage that and balance that?
So rule number 7 is ignore the little man.
Yeah.
Out of the 10, that's number 7, and that's a common trait. Like you can't let that. No matter what you're doing, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people telling you that you're not good enough or that you suck or whatever. And even if they have no idea who you are, they're making personal attacks. And at the beginning, I think I take it personally. Like, oh my god, they don't like my content. They hate me. And I think you get used to it and you stop caring as much. And I think it's rule number 7 in the book because it comes up so often. And I think by me continuing to study all these successful people and hearing them say that same message, now I hear it and I don't care as much about what the community is saying if they have just a pure hate comment. Now, if somebody's saying, you know what, you're blurry at this point, or I don't like your intro music, it's too
Right.
upbeat, or what, like if there's some feedback that I can take from it to make it better, that's totally different. But somebody who's just pure hating on somebody, um, I let go of that a long time ago. Like if you're coming just to hate, I didn't care. What I've done as my community has grown, I see what I do as a big responsibility. We have 1 million subscribers on the channel. We've had 350 million views or something on the channel.
Right.
I call my community Believe Nation, and I treat it like our own little country. Like
Yeah.
it's a fun community that people select in to be a part of, and I take that responsibility really seriously. And so, if somebody had a really nasty comment, what happens now? I would probably block that person from my community. YouTube gives you the ability to do that. Not because I'm personally offended by what they said and it's like striking into my heart, but because I think about the other people who are joining. I don't
Yeah.
want a toxic, negative environment for my fellow Believe Nation people. I want people to come to a video, and sure, we can have a debate if you disagree with one of the rules or disagree with something that somebody said. Great, like let's hear it. But as soon as you digress into toxicity, then you're likely going to get a ban from the channel. And I did that for, again, the people. But way before that, I had to overcome the personal attacks. And just if you're doing something big, you're gonna have haters. It's just part of the process.
Yeah, it's true. There will always be people who hate you and who love you too, though. That's the other side of the coin. So no matter what your message is or what you offer, will always be somebody who's eager to talk to you or buy your product. At least that's what I've seen. So it definitely works that way. Um, so now you're managing this community, and as you said, they have values that unite them. And I think that's one thing. When people go to that community with the comments, they can see the values based on the comments, based on the content, and then they make a decision to join. So if you had to say, okay, these are the values of my community, what would they be?
I think the values of the community are the values of me,
Yeah.
because I'm still the filter, because I
Right.
still look at the videos before they go live. Like if I haven't learned from a video, we don't put it up. And so I people are signing up to join my filter, and that you want to see the world the way that I see the world, or at least you're learning something from the way that I see the world. And when I learn something, you have learned something from it too. Lots of people don't agree. Lots of people don't like the way that I do it, and that's okay. They don't self-select in. And honestly, my channel could be way bigger if I did other tactics, right? If I did the 10 craziest things Donald Trump has ever said, you know, that video I'm sure would get tons of views
Hmm.
and tons of subscribers. Um, but I don't show the negative side of anybody, because
Hmm.
everybody has a negative side
Right.
and everybody has a positive side. And so I lean in on the positive side. I could learn something from Donald Trump. I could learn something from Oprah Winfrey. I could learn something from Steve Jobs that helps me be better. And so that's what I filter through and share. And so the people who just watch one video, there are people who watch one video and never subscribe. But I think the people who subscribe and then are fans and regularly engaged are the ones who see the world the same way that I see the world and are learn the same way that I learn, and I make their life easier. I'm doing the work to do all the learning, and here it is, all served up. Go enjoy. Like here's this gift. Um, and I think people resonate with that. And the people who don't like, it's like if you want to learn algebra, not everybody wants to learn algebra, and so they don't subscribe, but they're learning what I'm learning. And I think the core value for the whole community is belief.
That's true. And now it's true. Now that we talked about Wayne Dyer, he always pops up in my mind as you're speaking. And there's one thing he always did. He grabbed these works of literature that were too difficult for people to understand, and he would just basically say the message in his own words so anybody can understand them. And that's a common thing that he did. And most of his very successful books that sold millions of copies were because of that, because he was able to present the information in a way that you can digest it, in a way that you can relate to it. And I think that's what I love about the top 10 rules for success. Is that like you got it, you have it all in one place. You can learn from these people, you can implement what they teach you, take action and see results. And that's what really brings positive change into your life. So now we're getting to the end of our conversation, Evan. So why don't you tell us, what are you excited about in your business? What's coming up? What's next?
That's a great question. I always have a hard time answering that question. I have, a life goal, and then I have, like 3-month goals, and not a lot in between. Um, my life goal is I want to solve the world's biggest problem, which I believe is untapped human potential. I believe the greatest basketball player in the world is not Michael Jordan. It's a manager at Starbucks because he never picked up the basketball.
Yeah.
I think people are capable of way more than what they're currently doing. They just don't even know what they're capable of doing. And so that's my life mission, and it's never going to be accomplished. It's a forever thing. Uh, how to practically execute that? Well, I'm doing the YouTube channel. We crossed 1 million subscribers. I've got the 2 books. I'm investing into businesses
Yeah.
and promoting the books and the companies I've invested in, and continuing with my YouTube channel still take up a huge chunk of my time, and are my main priorities. I have a couple projects I'm working on, but those are my main priorities. In a year from now, it may be totally different, and I'm
Mhm.
open to that changing. The second I stop liking making YouTube videos, I'm done on the channel and I'm moving to something else. Luckily, I still like doing it, and everybody, we can still continue on. But at some point, like, it's not going to be YouTube forever. And when you will never be great doing something that you hate.
Mm.
So if you're waking up every day and going to do work that you hate, you're never going to win. And so when you lose the passion for whatever it is that you're doing, you have to jump to something else. And so that's the challenge for me in that question. I don't know what I'm going to be passionate about in 3 months or 6 months or a year. It may be exactly the same as what I'm doing right now, or it might totally change. But the mission, the vision is kind of consistent throughout.
Exactly, that's what remains. And I see that you are open minded to coming up with something different. I think that's what you're excited about all the possibilities, the things that might come, that might not come, because I think there's a fun in the whole journey. Like, if we were going on a cruise and then the captain said, okay, everybody, after 2 minutes of departing, I think we're back because this is a destination where we're supposed to reach. So it's over, and get out of the boat. It wouldn't be fun. It's about just enjoying every step of the journey and seeing ourselves grow and become better people every day. I mean, that's what it's all about, I think.
I love it. I want to see if a cruise ship will ever sell that ticket. Come on, and they kick you off the next day. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it was wonderful to have you here, to share your message with my audience once again. And I know you'll continue inspiring us every day, Evan.
Happy to, and congrats and good luck with the new podcast. I'm excited to see where you take it.
Well, thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, you too. Bye.